so me and you, it's personality, it's good vibes, it's connection, it's humor. And that includes Spence as well. And then for some of us, Spence, the white side, that's the one that's trouble. The Johnny Lawrence side, that's the bully.
Where's my red hat at?
Yeah. The black side, that's the one, that's the soul food. It's soul nourishing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm stopping.
Don't even.
Yeah.
Already.
But yeah, I just see that him looking at him as an old man trying to impart wisdom and love, trying to protect this young boy, which we're going to get into next, from the traumas and the terrors of the world, which we know that Mr. Miyagi has deep wounds, deep wounds. And so he's a protector. And he's trying to love this boy to get him to protect himself so he can be this figure, this kick, this crane kick. Right. And so this poster means a lot of different things if you look at it. He's trying to get you to stand up for yourself. I've been telling the students lately a lot. A Martin Luther King speech, the mountaintop speech, is stand straight. Keep your back straight. No one can stand on you. No one can oppress you. No one can ride your back if you straighten up. And I feel like this is what this crane kick is. He's teaching him to respect himself, to love himself, and you don't have to take no shit. And what Spencer was saying, you're going to have to stand up for yourself or you're going to probably die. The world's going to take everything from you. It's going to try to. It's going to try to. So hopefully everyone listening, you take this picture, this very funny scene, but also a very emotional scene. Maybe you don't know what's going on in therapy. Talk to your therapist. They'll tell you why they're doing what they're doing. Right? My clients know I'm gonna always make the shit connect. Sometimes I get lost in the sauce, right? Sometimes, sometimes that gummy hits a little stronger during the day.
Oh my God. Right before the session.
Right. You don't know.
Yeah. And what's good too is like being able to have a client for a longer period of time. When they get like that, like, is therapy even working? Why do I keep coming? You could be like, hey, remember last year, you were going through this, you was going through that, and you're not going through that this year. And the decisions you made last year are different this year. You can show them their progress. And I think maybe as therapists, sometimes we need to do that a little bit more often, a little bit more freely.
I think so.
So that clients know, like, no, okay, you see my progress, so that means I must be making progress. So then you go out in the world feeling like, okay, I'm utilizing therapy to the best of my ability. The money's worth it.
And also the skills building. So Spence, this is what the students don't trust is I'll be like, hey, let's work on this meditation, this visualization. Hey, let's, my kids that are religious, let's pull out your rosary and make sure we use this. And you're like, oh man, that sounds stupid. Like, no, man, this behavior modification shit actually works. And I can get you to pick up your rosary and then you'll be calm. Now with one of my boys, that motherfucker just thinks about the rosary and he's good. I'm like, let's go, bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
I got clients that do this type of thing all the time where they're pairing things, mantras, sayings. I was telling someone the other day is specific words, key words. Whenever they're thinking a weird way, I want you to say this mantra. Real quick, just 2 things. I'm not the man I used to be. I'm better than this person. The fact that I'm seeking help with you in therapy means I'm not this person.
Exactly.
I remember my first client ever, Spence, first client ever in internship. He was a very autistic boy, also schizophrenic, and horrific abuse. Not going to get into that. Pretty bad. Worst case scenario. And he would start having breaks whenever he would think about, his father, and he would literally start stimming, I'm not my father, I'm not my father. So every session was showing him how he's better than his father and he will never be his father. Right? Because he gets locked on our heads, these horrible thoughts. And sometimes when our mentors are polluted, like Johnny's was, we think that we're going to be that. Like we'll overcorrect. Like me in my life, I overcorrected for a lot of shit in my life compared to my mom and dad, or my mom and dad.
Yeah.
And so you're worried that you don't want to be them, but then sometimes you end up becoming them in some ways, and then you start tweaking, and that can cause you to think that you're the fucking villain. It gets interesting. So
it does.
This is what I always tell people. I got one kid I met the other day. I said, you should be much more fucked up than what you are. But you had your grandparents came in and saved your life. Saved your life. Then you met this really awesome partner. They saved your life. And then, so when you can think about that, remember the good stuff too.
Yeah.
Client told me the other day, and then Spence, we can get to moving. Told me the other day, they said, I'm just so mad at myself. I said, why? And they say, I should have started this shit sooner, this therapy sooner. I should have started sooner. Yeah. Okay. I said, also, you should be glad that you started it now instead of when you're 40 and getting ready to kill yourself. Or your relationship with this shit, or you're boozing all day, or you lost your kids. So yeah, you can hate yourself. All right, I'm not going to fight you. Also, you can love yourself for doing it now at 19, 20, 21.
Okay, that's young.
That's real young. I didn't start working on my shit till 26.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And we get caught up with that word a lot, should. Like, I should have done this. I should have done that. And I heard somebody say, stop shitting all over yourself. Because you're right. Like, if that was supposed to happen, it would have happened then. Maybe if it would have happened, you wouldn't have been receptive, or you wouldn't have had the right therapist, or whatever circumstances didn't allow for it to come together. But you're here now. So let's work in the now and go forward.
Let's trust the process.
Exactly.
And if you question the process, then tell your therapist, what the fuck are we doing?
Exactly. Like, that's an encouragement, because it is a relationship. So you have to be able to say, hey, I don't like this part, or hey, can you do more of this, or hey, do you do this type of treatment? You know, it's not just the therapist conducting therapy on you, it's your therapy.
Correct.
So you got to take control in some way.
Yeah. If your therapist is having you washing their car, Spence, you know, this
might be a little weird. Yeah.
Might be a little bit.
I ain't gonna lie. I bet you this is some West Coast shit, though. I bet you they do have people do shit like that. They're like, what you need is some good yard work. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
I guarantee you some people in California. What'd you say? Wax on, whack off.
Yeah, wax off.
No, she sent me that.
Dr. Funnies.
She sent me that once in an Instagram thing. She said, wax on, whack off. I'm like, wait a minute. She's like, yeah, I said that. I was like,
oh, Dr. Funnies.
I know. She unsent it like 2 minutes afterwards.
No, didn't.
No, she didn't.
No, she kept it up. She did.
She did.
I stood on it.
Yeah, she stood on it. You did. Oh, I'm done.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's see. All right, so this is
Yes.
we finally get the backstory of Mr. Miyagi, right?
Yep.
What he has gone through. So he was in the war, World War II to be specific, because he said he was fighting Germans, and so during that time, he while he was in the war, he finds out that his wife and son pass away due to complications of childbirth. And then every year since, I'm pretty sure he just drinks to her memory, to both their memories. And we see that Danielson is actually seeing the firsthand kind of what Mr. Miyagi is kind of going through, because normally Mr. Miyagi is very stoic, not very emotional at a lot of points, but he's a little sauced at the moment, and he's finally seeing this other side of Mr. Miyagi, more emotional, as well as him just tributing to his family. I guess this is we want to see a little bit, like, kind of want to see what our caregivers, our mentors, kind of what they're going through at certain points and at certain times, because we may never know, even though they act like they have a front with us, behind the scenes could be a whole bunch of things happening, right? And at the end of the day, it feels like Mr. Miyagi, this was actually a really good thing for Daniel to see, so that he could actually see that his teacher had these different emotions and different things were going on in his head, that he was a veteran who fought in a war, killed people. It really humanized him, instead of it just being just do karate, that's it, blah blah blah. While on the other side, we see that Johnny and John Kreese is told the opposite, right? It's more about like kill, kill, kill. That's all it's about with him. And Cobra Kai, there are no life lessons besides just being the winner, being on top, and that's about it. While Mr. Miyagi, it's more about like he is in the dirt, and you kind of got to learn a lot from there. So yeah, what about this scene really really touched you, Dr. Funnies?
Yeah, I think it is just like you said, the humanizing of Mr. Miyagi. He is normally pretty stoic, not a lot of emotion. And it's the first time Daniel sees that he has a background, that he had a life before living as this maintenance man in the back of this apartment complex, fixing sinks all day. Like, no, he actually had a life before, and one that had a trauma in it, a tragedy, losing your wife and child while you're away at war, let alone being at war, whatever you're thinking of then and all the traumas you're seeing then. And now you got to deal with when you get back home, your wife and child are not going to be there.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Check out the full episode on our channel and anywhere you find podcasts. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Whoop whoop!